She could rock the night away until the break of day. Her voice ringing through the air, dancing and singing. She did not have a care. They would come from all around to hear that lonesome sound.
I want to welcome tonight to the Cher Dial Show our special guest, 13 Arrows. Enjoy. Welcome. I'm Cher Dial of the Cher Dial Show, and I want to welcome tonight to the show, and actually I'm at your show tonight, the band 13 Arrows, and so welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks
definitely.
for hanging out.
Yeah, sure. And of course, I'm an old friend of two of you guys from the old band Dirty Louie, and I was really a fan of you guys back then.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I'm so glad to see you guys still around.
Yeah.
But maybe you could introduce the band to us.
Yeah, so I'm Mike, I sing and play guitar.
I'm Harrison, I play bass and do a little backing vocal.
Eddie, guitar.
John, drums.
All right, and we are live here in Minneapolis at the Pillar Forum, and so this is the first time we played this venue. Are you excited?
Yeah, very
Yeah.
excited. The owner and the staff, everybody's very cool. It's a great part of the community, so we're glad to have a new venue to share.
Sure. And let me just kind of get this out of the way. It is the Halloween weekend because people are wondering why people you're dressed like this.
Yeah,
which
this
is
is
great.
Yeah, not our normal theme, but it's a special night. It's a special night.
Really, but it's great, you know. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, busted up.
Oh my gosh. So why the name 13 Arrows?
Do you want to answer?
No, please go ahead.
Okay, so John came up with the idea. 13 is a number that I've always loved. It's been kind of like the lucky number, and then he brought the 13 arrows to the table, which is really based off of like the American United States seal. Like if you're on the back of a dollar bill, there's an eagle. He has two talons, and he's holding an olive branch in one talon that represents kind of peace and prosperity, and then an arrow, 13 arrows for the 13 colonies are in the other talon, and that kind of represents like the balance of good and evil. And it's just very American rock and roll, so we thought it fit.
Sure. Yeah, it's great. That's a great name. You know?
We spent months and months trying to figure out the name.
Yeah.
They were just like 2 out of the 4 agreed. We're like, okay, that's the name.
Yeah.
It's too late to change now. So.
Yeah, right, exactly. I know. It's hard to come up with something that's like catchy and people remember, but I love it.
Thank you.
So yeah, that's great. So I wanted to talk about your new album that's come out, which is What Love Is. So first of all, I love the album and I love the song, and it has a lot of like rock and blues and just a little bit mix of everything. So were you trying to get that? I mean, is that the whole concept of your band, is a little bit mix of everything?
Well, this one was a little interesting because he wrote a couple of the songs.
Okay.
He is by no stretch of the imagination a maestro on guitar, but it's interesting because they're great songs, and so it's a challenge for us to figure out where we're going to put our own little taste on it.
Sure.
So it kind of starts off as like a campfire, singer-songwriter, and then it turns into classic rock. And so that's a nod to him and his songwriting right there. But I think that's probably what you're catching on to, is just because everybody's so influenced by blues and classic rock, so it doesn't really matter how the song starts, and we're always kind of end up with a lot of our influences.
So you guys put all your influences into it. Do you guys ever like argue about things in the studio, and then what happens at that?
I usually go home.
Yeah, really?
Yeah,
Does anyone certain that guy win, or anything like that?
I think that all of the songs, like although they may come from different influences, for whichever person is brings a song to the table, by the end of it, all of us putting in our own 2 cents, it kind of ends up being a 13 arrow sound.
Right.
That really has like that kind of blues heavy influence. So it's really helpful when somebody brings something to the table for all of us to kind of round it out into that.
Move the interview outside, which is okay because there's some live music going on in there, and you guys are up next, so that's the whole ambiance of the interview.
Yeah,
it
gets loud.
Heck,
It gets
right?
loud,
Exactly.
yeah.
So we were talking about the song "Found."
just changed in me. Felt like a dream. 'Cause before I knew your name, you taught me that everything.
Maybe we could go back again about the writing of it, and because you were talking about that yourself, weren't you?
Yeah, so I'd say, Eddie, if you want to start, I feel like you came up with the original like riff and kind of lick and
Yeah.
chords.
Yeah, so we just had our first boy, our first kid. And
Okay.
I was kind of just in the living room trying to calm him down and play some acoustic for him. That seemed to be the riff that he was liking.
Really?
So it kind of holds special for me in that regard. And then I kind of brought it to the guys, and then we kind of aerialized it. And then I think we did a couple choruses, and I think you can talk to the lyrics, but you kind of circled back to where the riff came from in the first place.
Yeah, I thought it was awesome, like how the concept came from Eddie with his family and his newborn son, and Johnny, we had found out, was having a kid on the way too, and that was all new for the band and very exciting. And so the concept of the lyrics was also about like becoming a parent and beginning a family, and how something like that can really just like affect your life. And you know, it's a major like milestone in life, and the relationship and that love is kind of what it's all about.
But in the whole song, it's just so poignant. Just the whole tune of it is just like you can just listen to it over and over again, and it just there's just something about it. And the same with the title of your album. Are there any other ones you'd like to talk about?
Well, we could just talk about, I mean, as a whole, I think something that was pretty unique is we tracked it all live.
Okay.
So we're just kind of all standing in the room in the studio, doing it old school, which is kind of where we stand out amongst our peers. Is we can, you know, what you hear on Spotify or whatever is what you're going to hear when you come see us. There's no overdubs, nothing really. We did the vocals, some backing vocals and stuff like that, but for the most part, it's all one take, straight through.
Yep.
That's probably the best way, because I think if you keep overdoing it, then you kind of lose something. Don't you think?
Yeah, you don't want to overthink it.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, otherwise then it gets too complicated. You're like, wait a second, I like the first one. And then you got to go back and go, wait a second, how did I do that? You know?
Yeah.
And then I saw the video, the black and white video.
Just say it's fine to see you every 7 days. It's all I ever wanted. Lord, come and save me. I wanna feel alright with you somewhere tonight.
I love that. Do you like making videos like that, or was it just something you were documenting and then it just happened?
Yeah, I think it was just a nice way to document what was going on and not really overproduce anything. So it's really just kind of feels like you're in there with us, and we just want it to be kind of raw, real, down to the roots. Yeah.
Sure. And you guys have a huge fan base. How do you keep them, you know, engaged in your music and your shows?
I feel like Johnny's our mastermind behind a lot of that.
Well, I mean, I think the music is what's first and foremost, but these days it's impossible to ignore the presence of social media. So we're just trying, in the last year, we're just trying to dive in a little bit more with that, and just kind of always, know, give people something to react to and keep people interested. And the other thing too is, you know, a lot of people are or a lot of bands rather are sort of beholden to algorithms and Spotify and things like that. So I mean, we don't even print physical CDs or anything anymore.
Yeah.
So also trying to figure out that landscape is a challenge, but something that we've learned a lot in the last year.
Yeah, I was wondering because I know like you're releasing songs, you know, periodically, you know, at different points, and then like do you have like say an album release? And so how does that work? Because if you're already releasing, I mean, this is just a question I've had people ask me. You know, if you're periodically releasing things, and at the album release, is that, you know, what makes it different? Is what I'm saying. You know.
Yeah, I think it's just
because everybody's doing it.
Yeah, I think
You
it's
know,
just the new kind of landscape of how people listen to and digest music, and the plethora of content, the overwhelming amount of content out in the world on the internet. Like, you're competing against that at all times, so you need to constantly be a conversation needs to be able to take place. So like, why should someone be talking about 13 Arrows right now because we just came out with a new song? So versus we're going to put all of our eggs in one basket, here's all 10 songs all at once.
Right.
Versus, okay, we're going to sparse it out, and then you get a little nugget of something new every month. And I don't think a lot of people necessarily, especially younger generations, are really listening to, okay, I'm going to put on the record, drop the needle, and listen all the way through in my living room. It's like, okay, I'm just going to shuffle through Spotify and listen to one song at a time on my drive to work, and you're not really consuming it the same way. So we just want to be able to get that one song in the right place at the right time.
Right, that makes sense. That makes sense. Now, is this a smaller venue for you guys to play than you're normally used to playing? I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's quaint.
Yes.
Is what I want to say.
Yeah.
It's quaint. It's nice. I like it. You know?
Yeah.
But are you used to playing like a bigger, you know, venue?
Yeah, I think we've played a lot of different styles of venue. I think the owner here said it's like kind of one step up from a DIY venue, which is kind of a cool space for us to be in. We like being a part of the community as it's growing, and we have new venues popping up. It's a treat to be here. But of course, it's also a blast to play at well-established venues that have huge PAs and that sort of stuff too. So I think kind of spanning the different kinds of spaces and being able to dial in no matter what the scene is, and no matter what kind of equipment we have. I think that's been a good thing for us to be able to
to be versatile.
Yeah, exactly. In any sort of space. So.
Right, exactly. Well, you know, I have this this little segment, and it is called Cher's Fans Want to Know. Now, one of you guys may take this. Okay, question. I don't know, or all four of you might want to take it. Or all four of you might not want to take it. Okay, because you never know what they're going to ask. Okay, so they said that if you had to create a dance move inspired by one of the songs on your album, what would that dance move look like?
It'd be the wishbone, and it'd be the splits on.
Does anyone want to show us?
It'd be the splits this way, because that's how you cut us, or how you do a wishbone. You can scrap that on.
Anybody else have a dance move?
Well, we have one song off the new record called Rough Rider, and I feel like I don't think I'm going to act anything out, but you can imagine though there's a lot of move options for something like that.
I know Mike's dance moves. He squats and does the welcome. That's one of his go-to.
You got to draw the people in. Consensual dancing.
Yeah, really. And like, okay, just say you guys go out. What is your go-to karaoke song?
I'll say we had his bachelor party and we sang "Take It Easy" by the Eagles.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of group vocals.
Yep.
That had to be awesome.
That was good.
Yeah,
that was good.
definitely.
Yep.
Oh my God. Can you imagine like some of these bands? Like I went and saw the Stones twice. I mean, I can't believe that they are just still going strong at that age.
The new album came out a couple days ago. It's really good.
It's actually really good. Yeah, it sounds, classic Stones. It's just, it's unbelievable. So, I mean, I'd love to see that. So, where are you guys going to be playing next after this?
It's the next one, the Northeast. Dallas is coming up next month.
We are playing at the Underground Music Cafe on November 10th.
Yep.
So please make sure to check out our website, 13arrowsrock.com for tickets.
Yeah, say it again real loud so everyone can hear.
13arrowsrock.com. Check it out.
Yep.
that is great, and I'm really looking forward to seeing the show tonight.
Yeah.
Are you going to be singing "Found" and?
Yeah, I think
what
we'll play
is it?
all the new songs tonight, which will be fun, and then
Yeah.
a couple oldies, and yeah, it's gonna
Right.
be it'll
Can
be
you
a
do
good one.
Wishbone splits for you?
Yeah, Wishbone will be in there, the new dance move. Yep.
Oh my God! But I want to thank you guys so much for joining me on the Cher Dial Show, and also for me joining you at
Yeah.
your show. So
Thank
it
you.
goes both ways, you know.
Definitely.
And I really, really appreciate it, and I just, wish you continued success. And I'm a big fan, and now I got Karina is a big fan, right?
Yeah.
And we are definitely gonna, keep in touch, and let us know when we can, catch up with you again.
Yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity and featuring
Sure.
us and sharing with the world, and we're
Definitely,
grateful. Yeah.
definitely. And before I go, I just want to say a big thank you to Stella Parton for letting me use her music as my theme song, Tell It Sister Tell It. Thank you, Stella, and have a good evening. Thanks. Hey, thank you once again for joining us tonight on the Cher Dial Show with our special guest, 13 Arrows. Join us next week for another special guest on the Cher Dial Show.